Hello, good morning. Buena. Good morning. I think Shakshi also joined. Yes, good morning. Bulti also has joined. Okay, fine. A very good morning to every one of you. I will be starting with the live class right now. So I am presenting the screen with you all. Wait, the screen will be processed right now. As you know, I guess that today I will be discussing the voice of the rain. It has already been notified in your WhatsApp group early in the morning by me, and also in the Google Classroom also it has already been notified. Okay, fine. Now since the screen has already been processed, now I am displaying the material that I will be discussing with you all. So I guess it is visible to all of you, the voice of the rain. Is it clear? Okay, fine. So at the very beginning, I will be saying something about Walt Whitman. Okay, I will be saying something about Walt Whitman, and then I will be moving on to the central idea of the poem. Now please confirm whether up to this, whatever I told, is it clear? I mean the voice is clear. Can you all listen to me? Is it getting cracked or it is perfectly okay? Please confirm whether it is perfectly okay up to this. Yes, hello. Okay, it's okay. Okay, very good. Okay, fine. So let's move on now. Walt Whitman is a very famous American poet. Okay, very famous, just like Robert Frost was very famous. And when we talk about Robert Frost, I guess one poem strikes in our mind. What is that poem? Stopping by woods on a snowy evening, right? Now, when we talk about Walt Whitman, a particular poem strikes in our mind. Can you remember that poem that is actually related with "O Captain, My Captain"? That is written in the loving memory of Sir Abraham Lincoln. Okay, that was written in the loving memory of Abraham Lincoln. Very important. "O Captain, My Captain." And apart from that, "Leaves of Grass." That is very famous poem collection of Walt Whitman. Okay, and this particular poem, "The Voice of the Rain," it was included in the edited version of this particular poem collection referred by "The Leaves of Grass." Now those are the information related with Walt Whitman, and this particular material has also been uploaded in your WhatsApp group as well as in your Google Classroom, so you can access it. I will be explaining it from here so that it will clear up your concept regarding this poem. So at the very beginning, I will be discussing with you all the central idea of the poem. So see, it is written, I guess it is clear to all of you, "The Voice of the Rain," central idea of the poem, very, very important. Okay, now what is the main idea? What the poet is trying to describe, what the poet is trying to express. Okay, that is very important. See, the poem "The Voice of the Rain" by Walt Whitman signifies the eternal role, something that is eternal, everlasting, eternal role that the rain plays in nurturing, quenching, and purifying the various elements of earth. Yes, nurturing, quenching, and purifying the various elements of the earth. These are the manifold functions performed by the rain: nurturing, quenching, and purifying the earth. Okay, the rain returns the favor to its place of origin. Place of origin means the land and the sea, or you can say the land and the bottom bed of the sea. So finally it returns. Whether it is cared for or uncared, it never matters to the rain, because ultimately the phase of the water cycle process that was initiated previously, it returns back, and finally the rain returns to the place of its origin, because with that one phase of the water cycle process gets over. Remember, the entire process of water cycle, it is a never ending eternal process. It is a continuous process. It goes on and on. Okay, now the rain returns the favor to its place of origin. Origin means the land and the sea, from where it rises, unseen from the depths of the water and from the land. The rain itself is explaining to the reader about its origin, work, and its cyclic movement. Okay, now in the course of the conversation with the poet, it is the rain that explains everything, and the rain has been considered as feminine, and she expresses herself totally in front of the poet. The poet never expected that the rain will answer her back, but the rain promptly had answered her back, okay, and answered him back and told him about the origin, work, and its cyclic movement also. And apart from that, here the poet Walt Whitman had drawn a comparison between music and rain. See, a comparison has also been drawn between rain and music, as both of them make the world more lively and return to their place of origin after fulfilling their purpose. And finally, they return back to their place of origin, ultimately after fulfilling their purpose. Okay, I think there is someone on the line. Okay, I think Alia entered right now. A very good morning. Alia, can you listen to my voice? Am I audible to you? Good morning. Am I audible to you? Please kindly confirm it. Can you listen to me? Okay. Okay, fine. So let's move on now. The central idea been discussed. In the central idea, remember that what are the functions being done by the rain? Nurturing, quenching, and purifying the various elements of the earth. It's a very, very important function of the rain. And apart from that, we find that the rain describes everything to the poet about its origin, about its function or the work that the rain does, and obviously its cyclic movement. That one also has been discussed at length. That means in the course of the conversation, the rain told everything to the poet. And remember one thing, it is the poet only who can actually communicate with the rain, because it seems that he translated it for us so that we can also access it, so that it is also accessible to us. That means the reason is that only he can understand the language in which the rain communicates with him. That's something that is very important. Now, a comparison has also been drawn between rain and music, as both of them make the world more lively. Rain and music both helps in the soothing process, both helps in order to make the world more lively, more cheerful. And finally, just like the rain, the music also, both of them finally returns back to the place of its origin after fulfilling, or rather to say after completing their purpose. Okay, now I am moving on to the stanza wise explanation of the poem. See, the voice of the rain, explanation of the poem stanza wise. Is it clear to every one of you up to this? Every one of you understood up to this? The center. Okay, fine. Now is it visible? Now the next topic of discussion, that is the voice of the rain, stanza wise explanation of the poem. Is it visible to all of you? Can you all see it? Okay, fine. Okay. Now actually there is no stanza wise division as such, but I made a bit of a stanza wise division so that ultimately it becomes easier if you learn it step by step. If you learn it step by step, it ultimately becomes very easier. Okay, now look at the very first line. Conversation started. And who art thou? Said I to the soft falling shower. I means obviously the poet Walt Whitman, which, strange to tell, gave me an answer as here translated. I am the poem of art, said the voice of the rain. So obviously, when it was been asked by the poet Walt Whitman, who are you? Thou means who are you? So in reply to that, the poet haven't expected initially, the poet haven't expected any answer. But to his surprise, the rain replied him back. And what the rain told, I am the poem of art, said the voice of the rain. Now let us come to the word meanings, and after that I will be coming to the explanation part. Thou means you. It's a very old English word. Okay, thou, we don't use this type of words now. Thou, thee, we don't use this type of words, but it's a very old English word. It means you. Soft falling means gentle showers, we can say, or dropping softly, gentle showers. Shower means raindrops when they fall continuously on earth. Remember, here the poet is having a conversation with the rain. The rain itself, she is a character. Okay, remember it. She is a character, And if you consider from the poetic device that has been employed, then obviously personification, personified. That means to give a human resemblance to something that is non-living. And here that human resemblance is given by the poet Walt Whitman to whom? The human resemblance was given to the rain. Okay. Now let us come to the explanation part. See, I am scrolling at a bit. I guess you can all see it. Now let us come to the explanation part. The poem begins with the poet asking for the identity of the soft falling rain shower. Yes, now the poem begins, the poet asking for the identity. How can we understand that? Or how can we define it? Because at the very beginning only, at the very outset of the poem only, it is there written that who art thou? Said I means obviously the poet. Who art thou? Said I to the soft falling showers. Okay, then obviously at the very beginning only the poet is asking for the identity of the soft falling rain shower or the rainfall. Much to the surprise of the poet, the rain replies to his question, which the poet translates for his readers. The rain in its own voice tells the poet that she is the poem of this earth. The rain is trying to say that as music or poetry gives pleasure to human beings, the rain gives happiness to Mother Earth. Not only that, it has multiple functions also. It is a life giver, or it is a potential life force. You can jot down these points. These points are very important. It is a potential life force, or we can say it is a life giver to both the plant and the animal kingdom. That is, I am talking about the flora and the fauna. Okay, and not only that, it helps in the process of germination of the seeds. Okay, because the power of growth, it was lying in a latent or a dormant stage, so it gets activated with the raindrops. Okay, in case of the seeds, and finally it helps in the process of germination of the seeds. And not only that, it cleans the world of dirt and dust and purifies the world. That is the reason after a heavy rain, okay, or after a spell of soft showers, you will find that a lot of greenery all around, isn't it? You will find that the earth has been born once again. Actually, that's a very poetic way to say it, but you will find that the entire place becomes full of greenery. Okay, it becomes less pollution free, because ultimately it is the rain that cleanses the dirt and dust. That is something very important. That is also a very important function of the rain, because if we can't remain in a barren land, okay, rainfall is essential. It is because of rainfall that we are surviving, isn't it? Okay, now is it clear up to this? Up to this it is clear to every one of you. Shall I move on to the next stanza? Okay, fine. Now let us come to the next stanza now. Eternal I rise. I already told you that in the course of the conversation, the rain told the poet about her function. What are the manifold functions the rain performs? And not only that, the rain also has given information about the water cycle process and how the rain herself, she is involved with this entire mechanism related with the water cycle process. So see this, eternal I rise, impalpable. Impalpable meaning is given in your text also. Unable to be felt by touching. You can't see that and you can't touch it also properly. Unable to be felt by touching. Impalpable, it is like evaporation. Okay, it gets evaporated. Eternal I rise, and remember the process of evaporation and condensation ultimately purifies the rain. You have to memorize all these things, because these things are important in the context of the poem. Okay, that ultimately the process of evaporation and condensation purifies the rain. So I continue now. Eternal I rise, impalpable, out of the land and the bottomless sea, upward to heaven, hence vaguely formed, altogether changed and yet the same. Now some word meanings that are very important. Eternal means something that is everlasting. Impalpable means unable to be felt by touching. Bottomless means very deep. Upward means towards a higher level, that is upward. Hence, it means from where. Actually, W is silent here. Okay, hence means from where. Vaguely means something that is unclearly, hazy, not clear totally, vaguely formed, because ultimately cloud formation takes place, and the clouds are of different shapes and sizes. I guess you all know about it. And inside the clouds, what we find? Inside the clouds, what exactly we find? Yes, come on. Inside the clouds, what exactly we find? Yes, very simple. Yes, it is water. Definitely. Inside the clouds, it is water. That means, see, now you see this line. You are absolutely right. You all are absolutely right. Inside the cloud, there is water. Now you read this line. Upward to heaven, hence vaguely formed, altogether changed and yet the same. That means, you see, vaguely formed, altogether changed and yet the same. That means ultimately, though it has changed into various forms and shapes, okay, clouds, but ultimately inside the clouds there is water only. Yet the same means the basic concept or the core concept of the basic thing remains the same. Only there is slight variations, and that variations are intensified obviously with the formation of clouds. Okay, clouds of different shapes and sizes. Okay, remember that one. Now let me come to the explanation part. It is very simple. I know you all have understood it, but just a formality. I am explaining it for your convenience. The poet says that the rain is an eternal process. But eternal process, you will get to know about terms like eternal, continuous, everlasting, never ending. Okay, all these terms are related. Eternal, continuous, everlasting, never ending, all this. But it takes different forms at different times. It rises from the land and the deep sea in the form of intangible water vapor. Intangible, cannot be seen properly, and goes up to the sky, because this is related with the mechanism of the water cycle process that already I discussed previously. There it takes an indistinct shape. Indistinct means not a proper shape. Various shapes, okay, not proper, not distinct, indistinct shape. And remember, if you see, the clouds are definitely of different shapes and sizes. Do we find all the clouds in uniform shapes and size? No, it is of different shapes and sizes. So it is indistinct shape in the form of clouds, but ultimately inside the clouds there is water. So ultimately the basic core thing remains the same only. Although it changes in its form or shape, obviously with the formation of clouds, it changes in its form or shape, its core matter remains the same. Ultimately, the core concept, or rather to say the core matter, it remains exactly the same. Since vapor and clouds contain water, they can get transformed into the other. The words impalpable and eternal indicate that nature is not fully understood, and some part of it always remains beyond our reach. Yes, now the words that have been used by Walt Whitman in this poem, like impalpable and eternal, they indicate that nature is not fully understood by us. Human rationality couldn't surpass some of the mysteries that are associated with nature and natural environment. And there are some mysteries of nature that, to say precisely, those mysteries are beyond our reach. Okay, now I am moving on to the next stanza. I guess up to this it is clear. Is there any doubt? You can ask me. If there is any problem, you can ask me. Is it clear up to this to every one of you? Okay, sure. Okay, fine. Now I am moving on to stanza number 3. See, it is written, I descend. Who is I? Obviously the rain. As been told to you all earlier, that in the course of the interview, we can say, or in the course of the conversation, the rain told everything to the poet related with her function, what work she does, related with the mechanism that is the water cycle process. Remember that mechanism is related with basic science, but here it has been told in the language of poem or poetry. It has been told by Walt Whitman here in this particular segment in the language of poetry. That is the mechanism that we have read previously in our junior classes related with the water cycle process. Okay, now you see, I descend to lave. Lave means to wash or clean, you can say. I descend to lave the droughts, atomies, dust layers of the globe, and all that in them without me were seeds only, latent and unborn. Now descend means move or fall downwards. Ascend means to move upwards. Okay, descend means to fall downwards. Lave means to wash. It is given in the footnote in your text, the meaning of lave. Droughts means dry spells. Atomies, you have read in basic science, atoms and molecules and all this. It means very tiny particles. Globe means earth. Okay, latent means something that is dormant or that is inactive. Actually the power of germination is dormant stage. It remains inside the seed in an inactive or in a dormant stage. So ultimately it is revived. Okay, it is resuscitated, as we have read this particular medical term in birth, that particular story. Resuscitate means to revive. So it is revived, resuscitated by the rain. Okay, so ultimately the dormant seed becomes active. Obviously how? By the soft falling showers. Okay, and not only that, it purifies and beautifies. Remember it, it purifies and beautifies the earth also. That is also something we should remember. And adding to that, it also cleans the world or the globe of dirt and dust. That is also very important. In that extent, we can say it purifies and beautifies the earth. Okay, now let us come to the explanation part. See, the raindrops pour down from above to wash. Actually, wash means to lave away drops and dust layers enveloping earth. It satisfies the thirst of the dry earth and heals everything that is degrading and is lying lifeless. It heals everything that is degrading and is lying lifeless. Okay, it heals means the raindrops. It is like a blessing in disguise. It helps in the healing process. It helps in the rejuvenation process. It helps in the revival process also. The showers remove the dust particles and make earth clean and green. Remember the showers. The showers remove the dust particles and make earth clean and green. That is the reason I told you it purifies and beautifies the earth. How? By removing the dirt and dust from the face of the earth. Okay. Now, the rain also helps in the process of germination. Remember, it is the power of germination is inside the seed, but it is in a dormant or inactive state. It has been revived, resuscitated, okay, by the soft falling showers. Oh, the power of germination, all of a sudden it becomes active from a dormant stage. And how it is possible? It is possible because of the raindrops or incessant soft falling showers, we can say. So let me continue. The rain also helps in the germination of seeds which were lying dormant due to a dry spell. So obviously a good rain, a good duration of rainfall ultimately helps in the process of germination of the dormant seeds. Now I am moving on to the penultimate 4 lines. Remember the last 2 lines are in brackets. The reason behind it is that the conversation with the rain ends in this line, beautify it. And after that, these 2 lines are actually referred to the personalized viewpoint of the poet. I repeat, these 2 lines are in bracket because these 2 lines are been related with the personalized viewpoint of the poet. Okay, so see this. And forever by day and night, I give back life to my own origin and make pure and beautify it. I already told you it purifies and beautifies the earth and obviously cleanses the world of dirt and dust and also helps in the process of germination. And not only that, it revives both the flora and the fauna. Flora and the fauna, you know, plant and the animal kingdom. Now see, for song issuing from its birthplace, after fulfillment, wandering wrecked or unwrecked. Wrecked or unwrecked means whether you care for it or whether you don't care for it, it doesn't matter to the rain because it is very much eager to complete its first phase of its cyclic process and finally it returns back to the place of its own origin. Okay, origin means source. Beautify means to make beautiful. Issuing means something that is originating or starting. Fulfillment means completing the cycle. Which cycle? Water cycle process. Wandering means moving from one place to another. Wrecked means cared about. Unwrecked means uncared for. Duly means properly or rightly. Now let me come to the explanation part. The rain is involved in a continued process, or we can say everlasting process, continuous process also, eternal process also. Remember dear students, everlasting, eternal, continuous, continued process, all these things you have to memorize, because all these things are related with the function of the rain. Okay, so these things are very much interrelated: eternal, everlasting, okay, continuous, okay, that goes on forever and ever. These things are related with the function of the rain, that the rain performs on earth by providing water to dormant seeds and making the earth more beautiful. Not only it makes the earth more beautiful, but also it makes the earth full of greenery. Rain helps in enhancing the beauty of earth. Enhance means to increase. It helps in increasing the beauty of the earth, as in the absence of water, everything turns dull or lifeless. We won't survive if it turns into a desert area. Okay, so rainfall is very important. Our survival also depends on rainfall. Otherwise, the land will be barren, parched, P-A-R-C-H-E-D. It will be lifeless. It will be dry. So ultimately, who quenches the thirst of the Mother Earth? It is the rain. Okay, remember it. And not only that, it cleans the dust accumulates that is accumulated or that is being accumulated everywhere. It cleans the dust also. The last two lines are the poet's own words, and that is the reason it is written within bracket. Okay, the last two lines are the poet's own words and his reflections upon the answers given by the rain. The poet observes that the life of rain is similar to a song. Yes, parallelly both the things are being discussed here by Walt Whitman. Parallelly, why? Because something about the music also been told, as on the other hand about the rain also has been told, and here parallelly there the poet is trying to draw up a good comparison between the rain and the music. That is something that you have to know. That is the reason we have to read in between the lines, being literature students. Okay, now you see, the poet observes that the life of rain is similar to that of a song. A song or poem is creativity at its best. It is the ultimate or the highest level of creativity, we can say. In the same way, repeated evaporation and condensation purifies the rain. I already told you before this line came, maybe a few minutes earlier, the repeated evaporation and condensation ultimately purifies the rain. The entire environment gets drenched. Drenched means totally wet. We say no, drenched. D-R-E-N-C-H-E-D. We are using here past participle, that is, it becomes totally wet. In the rain, dust particles settle down and there is greenery everywhere. Yes, there is greenery because ultimately it helps in order to leave the dirt and dust. And after the rain, as I already told you in a very poetic manner, that it seems that the earth is reborn once again because the entire place looks full of greenery. Okay, now you see. And not only that, even the earth also looks beautiful to look at. The poet therefore draws a parallel between rain and music, as I told you a bit earlier. Both have rhythm. Both are having rhythm and both are having the ability to thrill. Both of them rejuvenate and beautify life. Yes, now both of them have the rhythm and the ability to thrill us. And not only that, both the music and the rain rejuvenates and beautifies our life. Okay, this is very important for us to know. That see, both the rain and the music, they both have a proper rhythm and they both can heal whatever pain we have. They both can help in reviving our life in order to provide us some thrill and excitement. At the same time, both of them helps in the revival process, in the rejuvenating process, and also both of them beautifies our life also in due course of time. And so this has been done. The explanation part has been done by me. This part, that is the poetic devices used in the poem, this one, dear students, I will be doing with you all tomorrow. Okay, I guess up to this it is clear to you all. Thank you everyone for joining the live class. Please mark yourself present in the Google Classroom. Access the audio links. Homework has been given. 20 MCQ questions based on Voice of the Rain. It won't take much time for you all. I am very confident you all can complete it within 10 minutes. Okay, please do it and submit it. And along with that, this material has also been uploaded in your Google Classroom. Kindly you access it along with another material also. And 2 PPT voice presentation also has been given related with the Voice of the Rain. Please listen to that. It will help you a lot. Thank you everyone for doing the live class. Have a nice day. See you all tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Thank you everyone.